fucking lose it! Get out of your mind! Get out of your mind! Get out of your mind! Fuck that shit! Get out of your mind! 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 Fuck that shit! Get out of your mind!
Alright guys, all theatrics aside, there really is a plan I want to share with you. And while yes, we're only halfway through Season 1 of the OKLCS, it's time to start planning for Season 2. Currently, the primary goal is to expand each division to hold 8 teams instead of the current 4, for a total of 16. The decisions we made to require an entry fee, put prize money on the line, and move to having 2 streams were all made in order to facilitate a 16-team league. The format we would be going with for this season would be single round robin best of 3s. So over the course of the 7-week-long regular season, you'd be playing 1 best of 3 against every other team, for a total of between 14 and 21 regular season games. At the end of the regular season, we would then hold a LAN playoff tournament where the top 4 teams from each division would compete to see who is the division champion. While the final decisions on LAN location and prize distribution are still up in the air, we'll have both those things figured out soon. But the minimum prize pools we'd be looking at right now would be 500 for Gold Division and 700 for Diamond Cap Division, not including potential Riot Prize support and other sponsorships. The entry fee we're looking at right now is $125 per team, the idea being that is $20 per starter and $5 per sub slot. Currently, we're aiming to start regular season games for Season 2 on Tuesday, September 27th, with the first stream of Season 2 taking place the following Monday. So with only 1 month before the beginning of next season, we need to find 4 Gold Cap teams and 4 Diamond Cap teams to fill out our ranks over the next couple weeks. If you're interested in forming one, let me know and I'll see if there's anything I can do to help you on your way. I know this has been a lot of information and not a lot of time, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me via Facebook, or on the League of Legends client if you prefer. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed the OKLCS so far. Get wrecked, you guys!
Hello everyone and welcome to week 4 of the OKLCS. We will be getting started in just a moment. In case you saw that promotional video, we will have more information on that coming later on in the stream. In case you missed the intro video, we will show it again later on as we continue into the stream. We will be getting ready for the second split of the OKLCS Get Wrecked League, etc, etc. We will be hoping to expand to 16 teams, 8 teams per division, 8 for gold capped, 8 for diamond capped, and more information on that will be coming as we continue. You can contact Jack via Facebook or via the League of Legends client itself if that is your preference, and we'll be hoping to get more information out to you as soon as possible. As for today, this is the first day of the second round of the double round robin, meaning that these will be games between teams that have already played each other, although with swapped sides. Unfortunately, we do not have the replay of the Road Crew versus Venom. It was not recorded via replay.gg, so I will just have to tell you that it ended in a surprising upset victory. The Road Crew having started 0-3 after the first round and Venom 3-0. The Road Crew took the victory over Venom. We can't tell you how that happened. We just know that those are the results. So we will go ahead and get into our first game of the night, which is SNEK versus TRZ. This game took place on patch 6.16, so unfortunately we can't play it for you via the client, but we can play it for you via the video, and we're going to go ahead and get into that one right now. Starting off, we see fairly... Let's look at the team comps, actually, as it starts out. We have PB Doughboy actually pulling out the Nautilus in the jungle. Nautilus not known for a particularly fast clear, but does have a plethora of CC in order to facilitate very strong early ganks, and just becomes very tanky as the game goes on. Not something you'd expect to see, but we'll see how it works out for them. On the other side, we do have Leona as well, not one of the more common supports that you see in today's meta at the very least. Braum is going to find 4 members of TRZ here, but his team over the wall are going to be able to support him, get him out of there as he retreats out the back. Fairly standard item starts across the board. Gnar picking up that Doran's Blade, looking for the early bully as the ranged top laner against Gangplank, who in his own right is a very weak top laner. We've seen in the LCK and in the LCS, if you keep up with either of those competitive scenes, how many times a Gangplank will get solo killed in lane by himself. We'll see how we get started off. The junglers both going to be starting on their Gromps, getting leashes from those respective laners. Gragas gonna smite his just a little bit ahead of PB Doughboy. And actually, if we look on the map, we see PB Doughboy going for his Wolves second as opposed to picking up the blue directly after the Gromp. Interesting adaptation, but one that could potentially help him having that smite available for the blue buff. And we have to be wary of the potential for wombo combo on the side of TRZ. They have the long range stun available for them from the Scat of the Week coming out of Leroy's Syndra, followed up with Trineki on a big Gnar. Peacemaker can always throw in the explosive cast should anything go awry, but to see how it goes. Trueheart actually is going to be playing as the starting AD carry this week. He was available for their week 1 game against SNEK, which they did take the victory off of the back of some excellent team fighting from Trueheart's Twitch. But he was strangely absent from his week 2 and 3 games. Tall Guy getting aggressed on by Oblivious here, but not a whole lot of follow-up coming out of Trueheart. They do get the concussive blow stun onto Oblivious. Gonna throw down a lot more as well, but Tall Guy going very low in that trade, just getting free hit by Trueheart before they turn their aggression onto him, focusing down Oblivious a little bit too much there. And of course, we see Peacemaker, he's already completed both of his buffs. PB Doughboy still yet to enter his bottom side jungle. That's just the slow clear coming out from the Nautilus. We'll have to see if he can make some early pressure happen to make up for the deficit in gold he's going to have from pure farming against Peacemaker's Gragas. Like we said, Trueheart coming in as a very strong player in their week 1 game against SNEK. Apparently just had some scheduling issues with what the rest of the team wanted to play for the past 2 weeks, but he's back now, and we'll see if he can have a similar carry performance. We just saw Grasp of the Undying coming out of Trineki on that Gnar. Not really something that I really like that much. Grasp of the Undying has been nerfed significantly, and it, to begin with, was weaker for ranged champions as opposed to melees. Fervor of Battle being the standard now. There's the stun onto Echoed Voice. He's gonna flash away from the slow, and Peacemaker does get a successful gank, forcing that summoner coming out of Echoed Voice. We see Jack, he's going to just continue to use that parlay to last hit, put down some harass onto Trineki whenever he can. Uh-oh, but there's a Zenith Blade. He's gonna flash and not get the body slam, though. He does have the barrel roll. Here it comes. It slows them up. There's gonna be a stun coming in. He flashes forward. The exhaust comes down to lower his damage output, and Trueheart flashes forward, doesn't get anything for it. And actually, Jack doing a very good job of keeping up in CS in this disadvantageous matchup in the top lane. Gnar by himself is a very strong laner, not to mention the range advantage he has over Gangplank, who is already a very weak laner. Now Tall Guy forced to recall, did pick up a cull, gonna try and put that gold in towards an investment of an extra 400 as the game goes on, provided he can keep up in terms of CS with Trueheart. Trueheart on this Jhin is a very strong laner, especially with that deadly flourish to follow up Oblivious's CC chain. Of course, Ashe and Jhin considered two of the stronger AD carries in the meta right now. Uh-oh, but here's PB Doughboy coming in through Tri. He is going to be spotted out here. There's the cannon barrage. It is going to secure the first blood over to Tall Guy, and PB Doughboy lands the dredge line, forces the flash out of Oblivious for fear of the concussive blows coming out. And a good play from Landsnake, just an easy gank as Oblivious face check trying to ward up that Tri-Brush, followed up with the barrel, or the cannon barrage coming out from Jack. He did have level 6 at that point, and it was a nice early kill. It's going to do a lot towards putting Tall Guy back in, as he had fallen behind in terms of CS thanks to that gank. A Peacemaker going to find a ward here, and thanks with the help of that pink, he's going to try and look for some counter jungling. Maybe not. He's just going to go for a ward into the bottom side here. Alright, so now we're going to have potentially the bottom lane of Team Landsnake going to be recalling. They did not push this tower. No, they're not going to recall. They didn't push the lane into the tower, so it is potentially a freeze if it weren't for the fact that Trueheart actually pushed it back out. I was just kidding. Spoke a little too soon there. Gonna have Peacemaker hanging around the bottom side here. He wants to see if he can get a gank off onto this bottom lane. Tall Guy, a very immobile AD carry on that Ashe. And actually, looks like Jack has actually pulled ahead about a wave of CS. Trineki is going to be able to make it up with the wave that's pushing into him right now. And Peacemaker actually going to take away his own blue buff, not going to hand it over to Leroy. Leroy actually going for the cleanse, seeing the plethora of CC available from PB Doughboy, who he himself is also going to take away his own blue, not opting to give it over to Echoed Voice. Mid laner's going to be denied their blue buffs this game by their own junglers. But you know, that's the jungler's prerogative if I do say so myself. I think the jungler should have the judgment of whether he wants to hand over his blue buff to his mid laner or not. And Echoed Voice playing very cautiously without his flash available to him has now fallen behind about 2 waves of CS to Leroy, who is now moving towards the bottom side of the map to help his team secure this Infernal Drake. It looks like it's going to be completely uncontested from Team Landsnake as PB Doughboy just looks to go into the top side jungle of his enemy and take away some of those camps. So first dragon goes over to TRZ, who are only down about 200 gold despite that first blood going over, and that's on account of the fact of that CS lead they have in both mid and AD carry positions. Now looks like they're going to be trying to aggress forward here, but here is Oblivious. He lands the explosive cast onto only Bad Cop. There's the cannon barrage. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, and Oblivious is forced out of the fight. Peacemaker goes down to Tall Guy, and that's another kill on a gank thanks to the help of that cannon barrage. True Shot, or not True Shot barrage, sorry. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes out, does not connect onto anyone. Deadly Flourish is going to root up Bad Cop, but he's just going to back away over to his AD carry, who has pushed the lane out. They're going to reconvene, knowing that Oblivious is forced to recall him here. And again, coordinated play coming out from SNEK, just making these ganks not essentially a non-factor. Actually in favor of SNEK, as they did pick up that kill onto Peacemaker. Went a little too far when his bottom lane could not follow up because of that zoning cannon barrage. And some Thunderlord's Decree procs from Jack Love's Lamp instantly wins that trade for him. Uh-oh, but there's the dredge line canceled actually by that Scatter of the Week coming out of Leroy. Nice play there from the mid laner TRZ. Now Jack's beginning to zone away Trineki from CS. Has firmly gotten control of the lane with the help of those 2 assists. And the power spike he has with the Sheen, with the Stinger, has 20% CDR already in his build. Team SNEK looking around, waiting to see what's going to happen. They see Peacemaker up in the top side here. Oh, Jack is here, everybody. Say hello.
Hello.
He made it back.
Jack is back.
He had a little bit of business to take care of, but he's here now.
Ooh, shit. All right. This is
your game. This is
SNEK versus
TRZ.
TRZ. Yep.
We were talking about how TRZ had already taken the victory in week 1 in this matchup, but
they did.
SNEK looking strong coming into this first bit. 2 cannon barrages down in the bottom lane and secured 2 kills over to Tall Guy's Ash, who has started catching back up in CS as a result.
You know he needs it.
I hope he's watching.
It's just a jab.
Anyways, red buff going to be taken away here by PB Doughboy. As we said, the Nautilus is not one of the faster clearing junglers. That's why he's really not in meta right now. He really has to make these early ganks count if he wants to compete with a jungler like Gragas. Trueheart actually taking a couple of tower shots there. We're also talking about how Trueheart, having missed the last 2 weeks of the OKLCS due to scheduling issues, has made his return here. Had a great performance as Twitch in the first round against Team SNEK.
Yeah.
And it looks like... Oh, early smite. Oh, but he still gets it. Peacemaker is going to secure that. Flash away from Trueheart, forced by the slow from...
It looks like if PB Doughboy had actually had a smite up during that, he would have been able to take it
Just
after that
easily
miss-swipe.
take it.
Miss-smite by Gragas there.
He's going to find that ward placed deep in his own jungle next to his blue buff. And this game, junglers have been opting to take away their own blue buffs instead of handing it over to their mid laner, as we've seen most junglers at this level of play do. Oh no, it looks like he is going to be trying to hand it over to Leroy, but PB Doughboy in the area, they're afraid he might try and take it away. But no, he's going to back away. They're going to easily secure it.
So is it just they took the second blue buffs? That was a little bit unusual.
They took the second blue buffs.
Ooh, interrupted that Jhin back.
Yeah,
Leona came up there to body block that first Q out of the Braum, but...
Yeah, Peacemaker's here, though. They don't... Neither of... Actually, no. TRZ knows that... Never mind, it's not going to matter. Solar Flare is going to go down. Cannon Barrage, and the nice knockup from Glacial Fissure. The Explosive Cast doesn't really knock anyone in. And they're forced to disengage. Both bottom laners of TRZ zoned away by that Cannon Barrage meant that Peacemaker with this more tank-oriented Gragas build is not going to have the damage to secure any kills there.
And I on the side of TRZ, their team comp doesn't look like it has a lot of synergy. A lot of champions on their team have a lot of displacement, which I feel like would honestly make it hard to hit some of the wombo that they have.
Yeah, that's definitely true. They can potentially combo a Scatter the Weak stun onto multiple people with a good Gnar, but then you're gonna have to save the explosive cast for later on in the fight, or just possibly to disengage in case something goes wrong.
I'm not a fan of building a team comp. Like, having a safety net is okay, like having it there if something goes wrong, but in a big fight, when it's like a close fight, not using an ultimate just because you're saving it as your potential safety net
Yeah,
could end up hurting you when you could have picked a jungler who would have more.
Although, nothing to be said that is wrong with their team comp as a whole. It's just they don't have the wombo.
I'm just talking about team comps. Obviously, every team comp's got, you know, its strengths and weaknesses. I'm just talking about theirs.
They have a good combination though. They have the disengage safety from Gragas, but they also have a lot of engage from Leona, from Syndra from long range, possibly Trineki as follow-up engage. Oblivious is actually gonna go, or a Peacemaker rather, is gonna go down to a volley, taking that dragon too low. It's gonna be taken away with an easy smite coming out from PB Doughboy. A double kill goes over to Tall Guy. Here's a Gnar. He's mega. He's gonna gnar Tall Guy into the wall, but not enough. He's by himself, and he is gonna go down before they can secure the kill on the PB Doughboy. Echoed Voice did go down. Cannon Barrage is gonna slow up and force Leroy back towards the team. A double kill goes over to Jack, and a 4 for 1 rather, but plus the Dragon steal away from Landsnake means that it's a huge swing for them, and they're gonna be able to push down this mid turret, or at least most of it. We can't see the health bar.
This game was played on the
this game
patch.
was played on the previous. I mentioned this already.
Yeah, before that, so the Gangplank nerfs are not on this yet. The Gragas nerfs are not on this yet. The Ashe nerfs not on this yet. So there's a lot of champions that got nerfed in the latest patch that
are not
seeing
applicable.
in this game. Yeah, actually, Jhin too.
Yeah.
A lot of champions in this game have been nerfed since this game.
Yeah, it looks like Landsnake were actually trying to take the Rift Herald, but not fast enough. They were not able to grab it before the members of TRZ respawn. Tall Guy might be in a difficult position here. He gets knocked away by the explosive cast. He's gonna juke away from the Deadly Flourish, and a lot of ults used that did not seem to be unnecessary there. Glacial Fisher went out to disengage a fight that was already over. Hello Trodlore, please avoid spoilers in the Twitch chat if possible.
Yeah, and I'm also confused by your question. Your game will be in this stream? Yes, as usual?
Yes. We try to stream as many of the games as possible. Like we said, we did have a replay.gg error, meaning that we will not see the Road Crew's upset victory over Venom, but we did already announce that.
Did you look at the match history some, or were you still planning to like take a look at that some?
We'll try and look at that if we can find it later on into the stream.
Okay. Now we can also, if we have like the time for it, we can pull up the point of view of the game by the mid laner of TRC just to take a look at maybe the game-ending team fight, maybe some
possibly
where the state of the game was before that fight.
Right, but we do see Echoed Voice with a somewhat uncharacteristic CS deficit. Generally goes even in lane, as has been the case for the last 3 games in this split.
Yes, I remember him saying, if you don't mind me saying, I was playing in the game, and I try to avoid saying too much from my point of view from the games, but he did say that after this game and after his piss poor performance when it came to to CSing with autos, that he was going to play so much Ahri that he would be known as, isn't that the guy who plays Ahri a lot? Because he was going
never mind.
to
It's not going to matter
himself.
Here. Peacemaker is going to go in. The Solar Flare does not stun up anyone. Enchant Crystal Arrow knocks, stuns up Peacemaker. There's going to be the exhaust on the Tall Guy, but he misses the body slam. He's going to stun up Oblivious here, and Oblivious is actually going to go down. Tall Guy dominating. And they're actually going to have a counter game coming out of PB Doughboy. They're going to secure the kill, and a flash away is going to save Bad Cop. A double kill goes over to PB Doughboy. 3 for 1 in favor of Team Landsnake. And Trineki going to put a lot of harass down onto Jack, and he's going to get chased out from under tower, but a good fight coming out from Team Landsnake, stalling out so that PB Doughboy could make it there in time to secure that double. And again, the Cannon Barrage coming out of Jack, just so well placed, zones off so much of the damage from TRZ. Isolates Peacemaker, or actually in this case Oblivious, and PB Doughboy gonna steal away the enemy blue buff to add insult to injury. Pink Ward is gonna spot away the blue buff for Landsnake, and it's gonna be attempted to take away.
Sorry, I just saw that Tall Guy said wow in the chat. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah. Good. Alright, so Frozen Mallet is completed for Trineki, but compared to the Trinity Force and Serrated Dirk on the side of Jackalove's Lamp, he's going to be hitting a pretty big spike in power right about now. Peacemaker here, he has the Cinderhulk completed and the Giant's Belt compared to only the Cinderhulk. There's a stun onto Echoed Voice, followed up by the Unleashed Power, but not a lot of damage to follow up. It's not going to be enough to secure the kill onto him.
He kind of used his combo on him before the ultimate, so he didn't really have a lot of follow-up after the
Not a lot of balls left either.
No balls.
It might have just been an attempt to force him out of lane, but the Negatron Cloak already finished for Echoed Voice is going to reduce a lot of that damage. Alright, so never mind. PB Doughboy is going to be ganking in the top lane, and he's going to land the Dredge line, but the flash away to cancel the animation.
Kind of an Ezreal blink kind of style effect there. He gets hit by the CC, but the blink finished off and kind of got him out of it a little bit.
It's one of those lags in the animation that you're able to exploit in League of Legends. They're going to try and zone away Trueheart here, but there's another stun onto Echoed Voice. Unleashed Power not yet. Oh, maybe? No, it's just a little bit off cooldown.
Close.
And another repeat gank. No flash available. He's about to go Mega, but it's not going to be enough. Thunderlord's Decree from Jack puts him on a killing spree, and there's going to be a gank here from from Peacemaker. I mix up those two every time I try to say their names without the names on them. Oh, but never mind. Leroy's down here as well. They're going to look for it.
We got 4 man.
And the explosive cast knocks him in, but there's a nice Glacial Fissure, zones him away as well as the Cannon Barrage, and Oblivious was under tower by himself. He's not going to get stunned up, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to stun Leroy in the tower range. He came a little too close. And they're going to go for a fight here. Flash Body Slam here, and he's not going to be able to secure the kill onto Tall Guy. A double kill goes over to him. And Echoed Voice, he's going to miss the charm. He's going to flash forward with the Ignite.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Nautilus, or I guess PB Doughboy and Jackalove's Lamp pushing down. This is their second tower to take in the mid line.
That was a 5 versus 3, or 4 versus 3 in the bottom lane. 4 kills going over to Landsnake. TRZ having already died in the top lane prior. And they get a tower out of it. PB Doughboy might be going a little too hard here. He goes for the depth charge. It's not. They don't have enough damage to take him down.
Barrels.
And that means that he's gonna force his flash. He might go down here. No, he's gonna make it out. And TRZ is not able to secure either of those kills.
He's keeping on the chase. He's about to go Mega. He's gonna try and hit it, and he does. But the barrels miss, and
looks like he's not gonna be able to secure either of those kills. Team Landsnake just looking so much better than their form in week 1 against TRZ. Have taken control of the game, are just slapping the constant ganks in the bottom lane out of the air. Just so, like, TRZ is throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, towards the bottom lane of Team Landsnake. They're gonna throw the solar flare down, but there was absolutely no follow-up. And at this point, this was the point where TRZ's jungler DC'd from the game, had significant connection issues.
He called Cox. We waited the full 30 minutes. If you're iffy on the rules there, the rule is you wait the full 30 minutes. You give them as much time as possible to try and fix the issue, but he wasn't able to. It was a internet service provider problem.
Yep.
Cox.
So,
not a favorite of many people in the area.
Yeah, in spite of everything, TRZ was forced to forfeit the game after this point.
They played out the 4v5 after the 30 minutes, but it was a 4v5.
Essentially unofficially.
Yeah, it was unofficial. It was just to hang out and play.
So we're gonna go ahead and cut it off here. We'll be coming back to you with our second game of the night, Jubermensch versus OK Gold Rush in Gold Capped. We'll get that to you in just a few. See you after the break.